Recently, Hollywood took another swing at capturing the world of high-speed open-wheel racing. Engines roared, rivalries ignite, and redemption arcs unfold. But we got a film filled with tire smoke, slow-motion crashes, and melodrama burning hotter than an overheated engine.
So you better buckle up, it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Framed as a story of mentorship, comebacks, and the cost of obsession, it sets out to blend raw speed with human emotions. But does this film hit all the marks, or does it spin recklessly into the gravel? I'm gonna stop here for a second. I think I just described Driven, that early 2000s Sylvester Stallone movie with the flying cars, manhole covers launching in the air, and more drama than a daytime soap opera. Now imagine the movie with the same premise as Driven, but actually good. F1 the movie finally gives racing fans what Driven promised: authenticity. This film is not just slow motion crashes or fake rivalries. It's a look what it really takes to survive as a Formula One driver. The intensity is there, the pressure is higher, and for the most part, this film feels grounded. This movie really nailed down the racing experience at Formula One and also what it feels like to walk around the paddock. And they definitely nailed this. But make no mistake, F1 the movie has flaws, and I have thoughts. Hi, I'm Daniel Arena, and I work in the film and television industry as a video editor, and I have experience working on a wide range of projects, including motorsports content. So today I am reviewing F1 the movie from two angles, as a professional in the film industry and as a motorsports fan. The movie stars Damson, Idris, Kerry, Condon, Javier Bardem, and up-and-comer 61-year-old actor Brad Pitt. I like that too. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski, known for Top Gun Maverick, Oblivion, and Tron Legacy. And the film was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. Bruckheimer has produced films like Top Gun, Days of Thunder, and many TV shows and movies. The plot of the film is about a veteran F1 driver that comes out of retirement to mentor a young rookie. Yes, this film is exactly like the same plot as the film Driven. Unlike Driven, the story unfolds inside the real world of Formula One. This film takes place during the 2023 season, but it wasn't very clear. This film has real teams, real circuits, and real racing. Brad Pitt plays Sonny Hayes, a retired F1 driver, making a comeback after 3 decades. The film had actual race cars that was built by the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team. They filmed actual race weekends at Silverstone, Spa, Monza, and more. The goal of this film? Put the audience inside the action, just like Top Gun Maverick. Pre-production began in 2021 with a massive Hollywood bidding war. Lewis Hamilton signed on as a producer and advisor. Every major studio and streamer wanted in. Apple won the bidding war, and it was backed by Warner Brothers for theater releases. Brad Pitt reportedly secured a $30 million paycheck for this film, and the budget of the film was roughly around $200 million. But 2023 brought delays on the production. The SAG and WGA strikes forced the crews to scale back filming. They only used UK equity actors, and they had to push additional shoots into the 2024 Formula One season. Before the cameras rolled, Pitt and Idris trained in Formula 2 and Formula 3 cars to prepare for the physical demands. At Silverstone, Pitt drove a modified Formula 2 car that was used in the movie as a Formula 1 car. Though he didn't race officially during the Grand Prix weekend, but it was in front of the fans and in front of a real crowd at the race. The production also included IMSA racing. They were at the 2024 Rolex 24 at Daytona. A real Wright Motorsports Porsche GT3 ran in the movie, representing a fictional racing team, Chip Hart Racing. Turner Motorsports BMW, a real IMSA racing team, was also featured in that scene at Daytona. It's so cool seeing IMSA featured in this movie, and as a fan, I love it. Let's all go to the lobby. To film the in-car camera scenes, the filmmakers used new camera technology with Sony. The camera body is a Sony Venice. It uses Sony's sensor extension system. It's the same camera system they used in Top Gun Maverick. It has a wireless pan, focus, and full remote control. This system attaches to the Sony Venice 6K IMAX camera and it's designed to fit in small places like a Formula One car. You actually can buy this camera right now, just the body only, online for only $39,000.99. That's about the same price as a brand new Audi A3. This camera allowed the actors to drive near 200 miles per hour while capturing the sense of speed at a Formula One race. It's crazy that they have the actors driving almost realistic Formula One cars at almost realistic Formula One speeds. And it definitely shows in this film. And that was the main goal by the filmmakers. On top of that, Apple developed a new compact camera system that fits inside existing F1 broadcast pods. These pods look like teardrops on an F1 car, usually on the top, on the side part of the car, behind the front wing of the car. These are 4K cameras in a small compact size, and they replace existing 720p broadcast cameras that you see on ESPN or Sky Sports, or even on F1 TV. This helps by having fewer VFX works, less compositing, and clearer footage, especially for the IMAX cinemas. This camera has the same tech that's in the iPhone camera system. So basically, if you have an iPhone, you're using the same type of camera that was used in this film. This camera that was developed by Apple is creating some rumors in the tech and film industry. It sounds like Apple is developing a cinema camera because they developed a special new chip, and it sounds like they're gonna be expanding into this industry in the near future. The marketing of this film was everywhere. Everywhere I looked, there was an ad for this movie, from all over social media to the billboards across town. They're even doing cross-promotional ads with KFC and the local oil change company Take 5. So Apple is producing this film, and they're gonna promote it every place they can. They even promoted this film during the Worldwide Developer Conference earlier this year while they were talking about the new release of iPhone OS. They even released a trailer, a vibration trailer exclusive to iPhone users. When you watch the trailer on an iPhone, it will rumble like an N64 rumble pack while you're playing Mario Kart. Now enough about the pre-production, the tech stuff of the film. You're wondering how the film is overall. Well, for a summer blockbuster, it's a solid movie. It's not an Oscar bait film, but it delivers big on a huge screen experience, especially in IMAX or in a Dolby theater. Now we have reached to the spoiler part of this video. And I want to give you a heads up, if just in case you haven't seen F1 the movie, and also I'll be including my full review here in this section. Pause this video right now if you haven't seen it in the theater or on Apple TV. It should be on Apple TV in a few months. Go ahead and see it. I think you most likely will enjoy this film. Now, the reviews of this film have been mostly positive, but a lot of F1 and motorsports fans did not enjoy it. Not all of them, but a good fair amount of chunk of them did not like this film. I understand where the motorsports fans are coming from and why they critique this film very harshly. Motorsports fans are very passionate about this sport, and they are definitely purist. No offense to that, I'm one of them. And I was upset at certain unrealistic things that happened in this film. This film is not really designed for F1 and motorsports fans. It's designed for new fans, moviegoers who've never seen a Formula One race. So the very first scene in this film is at the Rolex 24 at Daytona, and this sequence is fantastic. I've been to this race and they captured it almost perfectly. I'm an IMSA fan and I love seeing Turner Motorsports BMW on the screen. They capture the endurance racing vibes very well, and they even use real footage from the 2024 race. I do have a couple of nitpicks for this sequence. The fireworks on the backstretch that usually happens around 10 o'clock during the race are usually not that close to the cars. They had literally fireworks raining on top of the race cars, but that creates dramatic action sequences for this film. Also, the helicopters usually don't hover 10 feet above GT cars. The sound design, the sense of speed, the camera angles are just amazing in this film. This film should be considered for one of the best visuals and sounds for the Oscar seasons or any award seasons, but this film does have issues. Unfortunately, the story is very subpar. If you remove all the motorsports elements in this film, it will have a really weak story. Pitt's character is supposed to be around in his 50s, but Pitt is actually in his 60s. And that was one of the big criticisms of a lot of motorsports fans have. Now, just remember, there have been older race car drivers in other series, but today's F1, it's just not plausible. Yes, we have older Formula One drivers on the grid right now. For example, Alonso, I think he's in his mid-40s, but he's probably going to retire in a few years. So another big issue I have with this film is the timeline is just way off. The Rolex 24 happens in January, and usually F1 is off during this time period.
When was the last time you won a race?
Sunday, Daytona?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Formula One.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then same as you.
Sonny is testing an F1 car a week before the British Grand Prix, which takes place in July. That's 6 months, not 1 week. Sonny also crashes his car during that test session at the last corner and still beat his teammates' time. That could be possible, but it's not realistic. Sonny crashes on purpose and barely get any penalty points from the FIA. His actions is something they usually get banned for in real Formula One racing, and a lot of motorsports fans were not happy about this. Another part that was unrealistic was Joshua's recovery after this fiery crash at Monza. He suffered severe burns on his hands, and it takes a long time to recover. You know, driving a Formula One car is very hard, especially like turning the wheel with all that force. And coming back to the car and within 6 weeks, that had to be a very painful return. Joshua's crash was loosely based on a Formula 3 crash at Monza. Also the fireball crash that Roman Grosjean had to go through at Bahrain. Now the romance subplots of the film, and it's a total misfire. Kate, a brilliant technical director for Apex GP, and she sleeps with Sonny. It undermines her role, and it feels so wrong. Something that we've been seeing way too often in Bruckheimer films. It also puts a black eye on Formula One and their programs promoting women drivers and personnels on teams. Cutting this one-night stand would have helped this film a lot. When Kate's character was introduced, it showed that women had a bigger role in the motorsports world, and this film failed at promoting that. Another area that was not well explained in this film was Sonny and Joshua's fathers. Both of the drivers' fathers died when they were at the age of 13, and they never really explained about it in the film. Now let's talk about the ending of the film, and I thought it was fantastic, but it had some motorsport errors. At the final race of the season, Sonny was already being replaced after his crash in Las Vegas that put him in the hospital. After convincing the team owner that he can still drive, by the way, this is Saturday after the qualifying sessions. Teams cannot replace their drivers post-qualifying, even for an injury. This is a major rule in F1. And it actually happened recently with Lance Stroll, dropping out of the Spanish Grand Prix due to his hand injuries. Aston Martin couldn't replace Lance for the Grand Prix because you're not allowed to replace your drivers after qualifying. Unfortunately, they had to sit that car out for the race. Whole track action was fantastic. Having Lewis being crashed out at the last lap at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was a nod to 2021 when he lost the championship against Max Verstappen. It feels like a lot was cut from the movie. The timeline is too compressed, and I suspect the original plan to cover the full F1 season for this film. Trimming down the film into half a season made things a little messy. There was a lot of plot holes in this film. Sometimes scenes getting cut out will help the runtime of the film and make it flow better. Again, this film was not meant for motorsports fans. It was meant for non-Formula One fans, people who are new to the sport. The terrifying crash scene in the film was no Hollywood invention. It was inspired by a real-life incident. Former F1 driver Martin Donnelly had a severe crash at Jerez in 1990. That crash ended his career and served as a blueprint for the film's intense moment. That moment was Sonny's flashback when he was a young F1 driver. The filmmakers recreated the crash and used it as Sonny's backstory. During the Las Vegas Grand Prix, they were filming this movie on the front stretch, and there was a lot of social media footage of this film, especially on the main straight. There was a scene where Sonny crashes on the front stretch, and he was ejected from the car. This was a scene that was supposed to be in modern day Formula One, and they cut it. Probably because they changed the story dramatically in post. That scene kind of looked like it was straight out of Driven. A lot of TikTokers thought this scene was going to be in the movie because they filmed it. But when the filmmakers go in the edit room, they can change the story in 5, 10, 20 different directions by rearranging footage, leaving things on the cutting room floor. I am kind of glad they cut that scene out because this film is a lot better than Driven. Is this movie terrible? No, it's not terrible. Is this movie good? Yes, it's a good movie, but it's a mid-tier summer blockbuster movie. And you're going to enjoy it in the theater. And I highly recommend it seeing it in a movie theater. I had a great time watching this film at my local independent theater. I'm not bashing all of this film. The filmmakers did a really good job on the most part. I'll be watching this movie multiple times. If you like motorsports or action movies, it's worth watching in a proper movie theater. This film is up there with Rush, Gran Turismo, and Ford vs. Ferrari in terms of racing realism. All those films that I mentioned had stronger stories. Rush had two-dimensional female characters. Ford vs. Ferrari had historical inaccuracies. For example, they turned Auto Club Speedway into a 1966 Daytona. They had modern-day lighting and safer barrier walls in this scene. Gran Turismo was a better movie than F1. It had really good action sequences and a better story, but it fell flat a little bit of accuracy in the storytelling because it was based off of a true story. F1 the movie isn't going to get Best Picture nominations at the Oscars, but it should get nods for sound design, sound mixing, VFX, editing, and maybe cinematography. This film doesn't really cater to F1 fans that much. Because a lot of motorsports and F1 fans didn't like this film that much because there was some technical inaccuracy in motorsports that portrayed in this film, because that wasn't really the filmmaker's goal in here. The main goal for this movie was to create new Formula One fans, especially in the United States, where the sport is growing rapidly. And that's part of the strategy of the filmmakers and F1. I also think it's time for IMSA to get a $200 million budget movie, especially a blockbuster size, because that opening sequence was just epic. One more point, I also think F1 the movie is a way better film than Driven. Now, the next motorsports film was most likely to be a sequel of Days of Thunder. And F1 the movie probably would have been a better movie if they had Tom Cruise making a cameo at the end. Like this is a Jerry Bruckheimer film. And he also produced Days of Thunder. And I don't understand why he didn't do this, or any Days of Thunder references in this movie. The weird thing is that after Top Gun, Days of Thunder came out soon after, and they're both Jerry Bruckheimer productions. And Top Gun Maverick came out a couple years ago, and then Jerry Bruckheimer's next project was F1 the movie. So having a Days of Thunder reference made sense, especially that they filmed in Daytona for this movie. Now that's it for me. Go check out F1 the movie while it's still in theaters. It should be on Apple TV in a few months later this year, probably towards the fall. I really hope this film has a physical release, though I'm not holding my breath to Apple releasing a Blu-ray or Ultra Blu-ray version of this movie because it's Apple. If you like motorsports content like this, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments below what you think of the movie. If you want more motorsports movie reviews like this, drop any suggestions down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Oh yes. Hi. Oh, I know.
You haven't been in one of these videos in a long time. I know. All right. Oh, I know.